Are you finally committed to eating healthier and feel ready to move into plant-based eating, but just find the grocery store super overwhelming and confusing to navigate? Everywhere you look, there seem to be so many commercially processed food products calling from store shelves, many proudly wearing a plant-based or vegan label. So are these all okay to buy? How do you know what to look for? Or how do you pick out the good products from the not so healthy ones? That's what we're going to begin looking at with this first episode on label reading and smart product selection. Since this is a big but also important topic, I'm going to break down this subject into at least 2 to 3 more easily digestible episodes. So in this episode, we'll look first at 3 key things to always check when evaluating a commercial plant-based or vegan product. Though these tips would also work for evaluating most other commercial products too. What we eat and put into our mouth is important, especially if our end goal is having the best health. So if you're ready to become a savvy plant-based shopper, grab your cuppa and listen in. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Hi friend, tell me, what's the biggest struggle in your life right now? Is it family, work, or your health? Maybe it's that constant throbbing pain that won't go away no matter what you try. It's keeping you up at night, and you know you can't keep living on pain pills to make it more manageable. Yet, you need to keep functioning. There's work, there's groceries, there's your spouse, an aging parent, or growing family to take care of. Heck, even the pet dog is looking to you for support and care. But inside, you know your body is fast heading to a physical breakdown if you don't do something about it. The pain is just a warning sign. There's the high blood cholesterol levels your doctor is concerned about and borderline high blood sugars. Well, friend, if you're tired of feeling the way you do now, but don't know how to turn your health around with a busy schedule and life's demands, let's connect so I can support you in your transition to plant-based eating. Reach out to me at healthnow@plantnourish.com or see the link in the show notes to apply for a free rapid health transformation call. I want to help you transform your health and life through the power of whole plant-based foods. Let's work together so you can move easily to a plant-powered way of life, feel better, and regain your health. I want to help you enjoy plant-based eating with confidence and thrive for life in this lifestyle, even in the midst of your current circumstances and life's challenges. Now let's talk about the challenges of grocery store shopping as a new or current plant-based eater. First, I just want to make clear my position about plant-based or vegan commercial food products. My focus is and always will be on eating and encouraging others to eat unprocessed and minimally processed whole plant-based foods in as natural a state as possible, such as vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, whole grains, beans, and lentils. Why? Because the more you eat of these natural whole plant-based foods, the higher the quality your plant-based diet will be. And research clearly shows that the better the quality of your plant-based diet, the more health benefits you'll reap, both in terms of improved existing health conditions and in terms of risk of future chronic diseases. So is there no place for these processed commercial vegan or plant-based food products? And my answer is, it depends. It depends on what they are, where you are in your transition journey, and what your long-term goals are. For example, if you are wanting to start plant-based eating and you've essentially never lived a day in your life without a hamburger or fried chicken on your plate and hardly step inside the kitchen, then there may be a place for using some of these commercially processed vegan meats as a transition food in the short term to form a transition bridge as you're learning to prepare healthful meals made with whole plant-based foods. Having said that, I have worked with a client before who essentially didn't know how to cook using a recipe and didn't have measuring spoons or cups on hand, but he was motivated to move into the best health as quickly as possible. So we started with whole plant-based foods right from the get-go, with great results. Within a few months, he was making and cooking plant-based meals all on his own, losing weight and feeling great in the process. So it really depends on each person, their goals, and where they are in their transition journey. I know too that our modern world is full of manufactured convenience food products and highly processed foods. It's just the reality of this day and age we are in. And most of us have very fast-paced and busy, demanding lives. So there may be times when we would need to reach for more processed vegan or commercial plant-based products. So I am not against using commercial processed vegan or plant-based products. I just do not recommend using a ton of them instead of relying on whole plant-based foods, because you won't get the best health that way. And that's why I'm doing today's episode, because I know that there are currently so many manufactured, processed vegan and plant-based food products sold nowadays in grocery stores that I want to be able to help give some guidance so you can begin to be smart about determining which are the best products to buy. Just giving you recommended brand names of products won't be enough, because some brands and products are not available in other countries, and I have found from living overseas that companies can be very smart in formulating similar products differently in different countries to appeal to their target customer bases. For example, most of the breads sold in Singapore have cow's milk as an ingredient in them. So just giving names of products or brands won't do, especially as product formulations can change frequently. What I want to do instead is to start to give you some tools and skills to be able to have better discernment and make wiser product purchase decisions yourself. This way, no matter where you are or what country you are in, you can learn to become a savvy plant-based shopper. So here are 3 key things to start noticing, out of about 7, when checking a commercial food product to see if it is worth buying. First and foremost, I want you to forget about looking at the front of a package. Sure, it may say vegan or plant-based, but I never really trust the front packaging label. What I want you to do instead is this. Turn that product package around and zero in on the ingredients list. Sometimes the ingredients list may be on the side of the package and not on the back, but it should nearly always be there, somewhere, even if it is in tiny font size. Bring your glasses if you need to. Now here are 3 key areas I want you to check on this packaging, no matter what vegan or plant-based commercial product it is. The first is this. Look at the ingredients list. Now here's something very important to know about ingredients lists on packages. They are ordered in terms of decreasing volume or weight in the product. So for example, if you see whole wheat flour listed in a bread product as the first ingredient, then that means that whole wheat flour was used in the most amount and as the main ingredient for that product, which is a good thing. That is why the first few ingredients are very important to look at to see what are the main ingredients used for that product. So when you look at the ingredients list, first confirm that no animal-based ingredients are used in that product. Then see what the ingredients used in the product actually are. It's important to never assume a product is plant-based or vegan just because of what the front of the packaging says. How do I know? Because I have made a mistake of this myself some time ago. I picked up a product that said soya-based cheese. So naturally, I assumed it would be dairy-free and vegan. Well, no. When I turned the product around and looked at the ingredients list, I saw that casein, a cow's milk protein, was used in this product. So don't assume. Always check. The second key thing to examine is the nutrition facts panel. This is another key area to look at on the product packaging and is usually found at the back or on the side of the product box. Government regulations can differ by country in terms of information manufacturers must list in this section. However, most labels will at least include information such as the amount of calories provided by the food product, as well as the amount of fat, protein, carbohydrates, and sodium provided. It's important to look at this nutrition facts panel because it can tell you what nutrients you'll likely get into your body from eating this product. Now on to the third key thing to check. Look at the serving size that the nutrition facts panel refers to. This is critical because the nutrition facts panel with its details of sodium, calorie, carbohydrate, and fat content could look great for a product until you check the serving size it is referring to. And then you may be shocked, especially if the listed serving size is not an amount you would ever realistically eat, like 3 chips. Who just eats 3 chips and stop? Not most people. Some classic examples of this would be nuts, where often the serving size is just a 1/4 cup, but it can be easy to eat way more than that in a sitting. Or of canned soups, where often the serving size is just a 1/2 cup of the condensed soup, but most people will heat and eat the whole can of soup at once. So make sure you look at the serving size referred to in the nutrition facts label before you determine if this product is worth buying or not. You may need to do a little math in your head or on your phone calculator to see if, for a more reasonable serving size, meaning what you would eat normally, how much sodium, calories, or fat you would actually be getting. So today we looked at 3 key things to look out for when checking a plant-based or vegan commercial product to see if it's worth buying. First, look at the ingredients list. Second, check the nutrition facts panel. And third, always look at the serving size that the nutrition facts panel refers to. Label reading and smart product selection is a big important topic in plant-based eating, and there are important skills to be learned here if you want to be successful and thrive in your plant-based diet lifestyle. So know that today's episode is really just the primer or tip of the iceberg in terms of teaching and learning about food labels and smart product picking. We'll be doing more ingredient list reading and label reading in future episodes, as I want to give you some guidelines of what to look for and how to determine if certain products will be healthier to buy than others. So stay tuned. Now here's an action step to take. The next time you're at the grocery store, start to get into the habit of looking for and checking these 3 areas I've taught you about today. Go into the middle aisles of a grocery store. That's usually where the shelf-stable packaged products are. And pick up 1 to 2 random commercial plant-based or vegan products on the grocery store shelf and just have a look at the product packaging. See if you can locate where the ingredients list is for that product, where the nutrition facts panel is, and what the serving size is for that product. You might be surprised at what you find. I hope today's episode begins to give you a bit more confidence and clarity so you can enjoy plant-based grocery shopping with less confusion and overwhelm. Remember, if you'd like support on your plant-based diet journey, reach out to me at healthnow@plantnourish.com or see the link in the show notes to apply for a free rapid health transformation call. I would love to connect with you and help you see what the next best steps forward would be in your diet transition and how to better help you reach your health and weight goals. Let's connect. Thank you so much for listening. If this podcast has inspired, encouraged, or helped you in some way to transform your health, I would love to hear about it. Please take 30 seconds to rate and leave a written review on Apple Podcasts to let me know. It will encourage me so much to hear how this podcast has positively impacted and made a difference in your journey towards wellness. And share about this podcast with a friend or loved one so we can all thrive in the best health. Remember, plant-based eating can be easy and doable. See you in the next episode, my friend.